Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything, and today it's going to be a pretty average episode. Who am I kidding? Today it's going to be an amazing episode. Today is our half-iversary. We are officially halfway through with all of our country's flags after this particular episode that I am about to do, and we're going to be doing the Central African Republic. And if you can guess where it is, you would be right if you said it's in Central Africa. Okay, so I don't know if this is the country that ideally I'd plan on spending my anniversary in, my half-iversary, but here we are. When we, you know what I always say too. You know, we got to do them all. We got to do them all. So let's get down to it. The Central African Republic, pretty much one of those states that's kind of been in conflict for most of its existence. Perennially just kind of a weak state government-wise. A lot of failed coups, dictatorships, violence, civil unrest, all that stuff. You can find it all in the Central African Republic. So, yeah, it's kind of at the crossroads of like a lot of different ethnicities in the continent of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa to be precise. And it wasn't really brought into like the modern age until like the 1700s. When you start getting European powers into that part of the world, right? Not really much of like a functioning kingdom or state there to begin with. The locals that were there benefited from the slave trade, right? So they did enslave a lot of sub-Saharan Africans, Arabs, and traded them to the European powers, which kind of created a lot of animosity between the ethnicities that were there. Again, that's always a much more complicated thing than you're told. So it was established as a French colony in 1903, Ubangi-Shari colony. And it was sort of modeled after like the Belgian Congo. So the Belgians, arguably, had one of the strongest African empires. They were kind of one of the states that won out. So France was kind of modeling what the Belgians did to the west, right? Because this is Central Africa that we're talking about. And they ended up banning the slave trade in the 1910s. However, there's a lot of private companies that kind of still continue to exploit it. They gained independence from France as the Central African Republic in 1960. And then 6 months into independence, their president dies. So almost right off the bat, we're kind of hearing the same old song and dance with independent Africa. And they got I don't want to say it's like a busy flag, but it's got a lot of colors in it. Most flags only have like 3, 4, or 5 tops. And yeah, this one's got like a little bit of everything in it. Even though it's simple, it's got a lot of that. So let's get down to business. So their president of the Central African Republic, Bokassa, he named himself the emperor in 1976, and then the Central African Republic became the Central African Empire. So throwing away all that Democratic Republic stuff. And he was overthrown by a French-backed coup in 1979. And then once again, they become the Central African Republic. So a lot of political, kind of upheavals and instability. And in recent times, I wish there was kind of more to say about the place, but it's just very much kind of hard to get stuff going there. So in 2013, they had their 5th coup since independence. And one of the guys, or the previous ruler, ended up fleeing the country. And then there's more kind of ethnic strife there. You have a lot of Christians that are, getting kind of driven out by like Islamic political factions. And so mainly, a lot of ethnic, but also religious tension there. Because, again, it is at a crossroads, so there's not really like... not really people that can like lay indigenous like claim to the land or anything like that, because it's just kind of such a hodgepodge of different ethnicities and different religions. Kind of Central Africa, a lot of Christians there, but a lot of the Islamic world that's more into like the north. So you kind of got them at the crossroads there. And alright, so then the top part here is blue. So let me just get this star. And we'll just get the ruler out. Just make sure this is nice and straight here for our Central African half-iversary on James Draws Everything. Okay. Yeah, so they install an independent candidate, Tudara, in 2016, and then this guy gets re-elected in 2020. After they did actually sign some peace agreements with like some of the warring factions, but unfortunately those don't last too long because Africa. And there's a lot of kind of parts in this country where they're basically like just no-go zones, right? So there's no political structures there. It's just kind of warlords and armed groups that remain in control. And Tudara's his United Hearts movement. That's the party that's been governing it since 2016. Unfortunately, hasn't been doing too much uniting of hearts, changing hearts and minds. So, yeah, just kind of even right up to like present day, we just see a lot of these same problems in the country that basically have existed since independence. And they wrote another constitution in 2023, actually, which basically allows the current president to extend his rule, right, outside of his normal term limits. And that's usually a sign in African politics that something's coming, right? Like this guy will get... He'll get cooed. He'll have to flee. Or worse, right? And then somebody else takes power. But that's just how it goes. Okay, so let me just close off that star with my blue. Okay, and that star is yellow on the inside. Okay. All right. So yeah, kind of an odd looking flag, right? It's like a lot of colors on it. Colors you don't really usually associate with each other on a flag. Kind of an odd pattern. Really nothing complicated, but just nothing Nothing else in the world really looks like this one. So we'll just finish it off. Do Central African Republic. So the CAR, the Central African Republic, it's got four equal horizontal bands, yellow star. So it does combine some elements of the Pan-African and the French flags. The red, of course, red right down the middle there. Blood spilled for independence and the struggle. Blue, sky and freedom. White, peace and dignity. Green, hope and faith. And yellow is tolerance. And the star represents aspiration toward a vibrant future. And speaking of a vibrant future, all right, so we still got plenty left to do on James Draws Everything on this channel, right? Going forward, we're halfway there. Ooh, we're halfway there, living on a prayer. No, I hate that song. So we're gonna throw a little party here, a Central African Republic themed party, right? I had some other countries that I would probably rather be in right now for my half-anniversary, but we'll make this Central African Republic themed, right? So this box actually kind of reminds me, or this flag kind of reminds me of like a present, right? So we're gonna have our party favors out here. We've got some red ribbons. I don't know what's in this present, but if it's for me, it's probably some new art supplies, right? So as you know, I go through these markers like candy. So always need to replace my toolbox here. So we'll get some we'll hook James up with some new art supplies for his half-anniversary. Straight from the Changing Hearts party from my friends in the Central African Republic. So thank you very much, guys. You know, I didn't have too many nice things to say about your country, but I really appreciate the kindness. So maybe I'll have to revisit you someday once you get things under control. All right, so yeah, we got our wrapping paper. Then you gotta have your party favors out, right? And we'll do a party hat, a birthday hat here. And to keep with the Central African Republic theme, we've got a little star on the top. We'll do some Central African Republic colors here on the party favor. I hit a blue. We'll do another yellow. And these things are always like red, right? What do you call these? It's like a ribbon or something that makes a noise, a noise maker. Alright, so plenty of reason to celebrate. Half-anniversary. We are halfway there to doing all 194 countries' flags. So I'm excited. Okay, and then we'll just say, let's say green shirt. To our skin tone. So yeah, it's a big birthday bash. Half-anniversary bash. So there we go. Happy half So there we go. Central African Republic is helping me, James from James Does Everything, celebrate his half-anniversary here on the channel. We got plenty more where that came from. So if you've been tuning in, keep on watching. Plenty more where that came from. And then also, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you on the next video.